Brilliant speed with vibrant service. Vibrant Broadband Internet.
Well, thank you, Jeff. My name is Shane.
I'm Nathan.
And I'm Jane.
And welcome to another Vibrant July. The holidays are coming up, and with it, scams.
Scams.
People want to take advantage of other people, and it's sad that it happens around the holidays, probably more often than not. But today we're going to highlight some of the newest scams that we're learning about, how to detect them, and how to avoid them. Then at the end, we're going to offer some tips on what to do if you become a scam victim.
So typically in the news, we always hear about the older generation getting scammed and hacked the most, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you were to guess, what age group would you think would be scammed the most?
I would guess retirees, people
Right.
in their 60s, 70s.
That's what I thought too. So anybody that's under 44 and under are more apt to fall into a trap with the scams.
Wow.
And I guess we were kind of talking about this earlier, just with our generation, we're a little bit more skeptical.
Yeah.
And we haven't been brought up on the internet from, conception.
Right.
So the kids that are, younger, they're always used to trusting the internet and whatever's on the internet is true, right? So
Exactly.
I was also thinking that the younger generation is connected nonstop all the
Yes.
time. So they're probably going to see a lot more opportunity to be scammed digitally and
That's
stuff
true.
like that too. But
Yep. And so the most common way to get scammed is through text messaging. And basically you might get a, hey, how are you? Or something about, your UPS needs a different address, that kind
you
of
owe
stuff.
money to your toll.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
something.
That's
Yep. And
another
then
one.
and basically what they're checking for is to see if you have a legit phone number. And that's the second one. So if you get a phone call that you don't recognize the number, or they're asking you to do something immediate, those are ways to get scammed.
Mm-hmm.
And so so in regard to the holiday thing, Nathan's going to talk about how to help.
Yep. So holidays, unfortunately, because so many people are shopping online and doing stuff online, you're more likely to see holiday scams. So that's kind of what we wanted to highlight today. One of the newer ones that's becoming more popular and frankly more frightening, in my opinion, is with the development of AI, you can now see more and more video and audio, specifically like you can get a phone call that sounds exactly like a loved one of yours, your child, your spouse, whatever, because unfortunately, if someone gets a hold of even like 20, 30 seconds of someone speaking, they can use AI to replicate that voice and make it say almost anything.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get a phone call from, you think a loved one says, hey, I got in trouble. Can you send me some money to such and such or whatever? So these are big red flags. If you get a call, even if it sounds like someone you know, always be wary of, especially if they're asking for money or something that just sounds a little bit off.
One of the things that they will do is they'll tell, like if it's a grandchild calling a grandma, they'll say, don't tell mom or dad, but I'm in jail, or I'm this, or I'm that. And then a lot of times the grandma or sometimes grandpa or whatever will appease that and say, okay, I won't tell your mom and dad. And then that's the scam. So then when you answer the phone and they say, don't tell somebody else, a lot of times that's a red flag.
For sure. Of course, if you got in jail, you may also not want your parents to know. So use caution.
Right, there is that.
But also, a newer scam is that scammers can now find ways to charge money without actually making contact with you or even getting your credit card information or your number. So basically, a lot of us have probably noticed your credit card and your debit cards have this, touch to pay thing, which I love doing the touch to pay. I think it's kind of nice and
when
convenient.
I find it the right location to tap it.
Yeah.
They say it's more secure. It's harder to hack your personal information, but because it doesn't need to be swiped or anything done physically. If someone had, a card reader in their pocket and they brushed up next to your wallet, they can maybe capture or charge you for something that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, you see a lot of wallets nowadays will advertise RFID protection. And RFID is referencing the technology, the tap technology and stuff like that. So if you don't already have a special kind of wallet that may have that, that's an option out there. But it is unfortunately another way that people can get money out of you. And a lot of times it's smaller amounts that you may not notice, or they're not like usually doing thousands of dollars, so you catch it right away. So they can kind of keep charging it kind of thing.
I was watching the news and that piece was on there, and it's called ghost tapping. And so I don't have a wallet that has that RFID. So I ended up purchasing a little wrist wristlet. It was basically $13 on Amazon, and I'm gonna not
Yep.
get ghosted, I guess.
There you
Yep.
go. Right?
And then another one is deep fake ads and deep fake websites. And what deep fake means is, again, is kind of using AI. People can build entire websites, advertisements, videos from what seems like trusted brands. You may think you're going to Best Buy's website, you see an ad on Facebook or something, and it looks really legitimate, really convincing, too good to be true deals. And if you buy through there, it could be a big mistake. So if you see a deal that looks awesome, or you see, click, an ad for something such and such, it's always a good idea to go to that website separately and kind of avoid clicking on links that lead you to who knows where. But
Exactly. And that charity, that might not be a real charity. It could be a scam. So if you remember on Seinfeld, they had something called the Human Fund that George was giving funds to. And in honor of your name, at Christmas, he gave cards to the Human Fund. And it was a fake charity, right? So, I mean, those types of things can happen. We all have some charities that we know the names of and that kind of thing. But the best charity, I think, is to give to is the local one. The local food shelf, there's churches, there's, give your money locally. If you get a phone call for a charity, I know, Nathan, you'd gotten some phone calls in the past from people representing fire departments and police departments. And then when you ask for more information, they pretty much hang up on you.
Yeah.
So, that's a...
even if it sounds like a really good charity and it hits you in the right spot, always say, what's the name of the organization? Do you have a website? Do a little bit of research outside of that random phone call you got.
Make it work for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. Clicking that holiday e-card could infect your devices. Now, I know it was, I think, more popular a few years ago, but you'd get those cards, and the e-cards, and the email, and then they'd be like little cartoons and some music and that kind of thing. And it's fine if you know who it's coming from, but they can even fake that now with AI. So just be very cautious on clicking any kind of links in your email.
So where are you going to encounter these scams? Well, first off, email scams, and that's phishing with a PH, not the like fishing for fish. And so you're going to get an email that's going to be from a name that has a trusted company, and it's going to basically ask you to do something and want you to click on something. So before you do that, again, go to the website, look that up instead of clicking on that link, because they want you to click on the link, because then you're going to end up giving them all that information.
Usually they try to make it sound super urgent.
Yes.
Like, oh, you're going to lose your information, or we're going to charge you if you don't click on this.
Yep. And then the other thing is text messaging called smishing. So again, it's going to be, you need something immediate, click here. I'm trying to think of what else. Click here.
Pay the toll. That's
yep,
a newer one.
The toll,
Yep.
and then the package, the address, that kind of stuff. So just know if you are receiving messages, and in fact, we were talking about this earlier, when you get a message and you have no idea where it's from, and it's like, hey, how are you? I haven't talked to you in so long. Or it's just like, whatever.
We should meet, or what are you doing tonight? Or
Yeah, even if you say, oh, I think you got the wrong number, then they still try to start, oh, well.
they'll start a conversation, and the whole idea behind that is that they want to get you comfortable with them and become, I guess, text friends. And then what they'll try to do is talk you into like investing in some kind of a cryptocurrency
New
or
business.
gold, new business, and then it's a scam.
Yeah. Another one that's becoming obviously more and more popular with the digital age is social media ads and posts. So Jane, she's shared a story in the past about seeing an ad on Facebook that sounded too good to be true. It was like a discount on couches, and it seemed like it was from a legitimate brand or website. But I think you went to the website, right, and tried to find it, and you couldn't find it anywhere.
Right. I clicked on the link, like a dork, and it was like, wow, these are amazing. And if I bought two couches, it was like even less expensive. And I'm like, well, what'd I do with two couches, right? But so I actually went into the website Macy's, and there was no couch to be had. So I knew that it was way too good to be true, and I didn't get scammed, luckily.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, AI is getting more convincing, so these will look more legitimate. If you click on them, they'll seem like it's going to the real website. If you see a deal, even if it sounds really appealing, if it sounds great, you should be able to find it on that company's official website. So always go separately and look for that deal, see if you can find it. Again, they can build entire fake online stores So even if you're on Google and you're searching for, hey, I'm trying to find this new iPhone for myself or my family member or whatever, there may be links to places where you can shop for it that have really good deals that are not legitimate websites. So make sure whenever you're shopping online that you're shopping in legitimate places. And then phone calls, we talked about what's called vishing, where you're going to get a phone call. It may be a government agency, the IRS, that says, hey, you owe some tax money or this or that. Most legitimate businesses are not going to call you and ask you to make a payment immediately over the phone. And if you do get a call, someone's asking you to pay it, even if you think it's legitimate, oh, you know what, I actually think I might be past due on that bill, and you want to pay it, hang up that call if they called you, and then dial the number that you know for that business and pay it through there. Even if it's a legitimate call, it's always good to hang up and call it yourself. And then we talked about charity scams. Everyone's kind of feeling in that generous mood around the holidays. Fake charities are popping up, especially this time of year. So be extra cautious if it's a charity you don't know of. And like Shane mentioned, there's a lot of great local opportunities if you're looking to donate to charity that are going to be more secure than something you don't know, aren't familiar with.
Exactly. And so how do you avoid being scammed? Well, again, we've talked about this till we're blue in the face, but avoid clicking links. That's the biggest thing that can get you scammed, is clicking links. If a deal is too good to be true, just be skeptical of it. Sometimes there are some good deals out there, but I mean, reasonably. I mean, if it's a $40 couch, I mean, and it's not used, it's not on the front of somebody's
Run.
curb, then watch out for gift card scams. There again, where if you get a gift card from the checkout person, make sure that you pick it up and then they actually scan it and put the amount on it or whatever. If you do come across some gift cards for sale on Facebook, and like it's $100 Amazon gift card and it's for sale for $50 or $75, just be real cautious on those types of things. And then verify charities before donating, like we said. CharityWatch.org or Give.org, they can confirm charity legitimacy. So check those out. But again, the best place to donate is locally.
And when you are paying for your items, make sure that it's a secure site and as well as fraud protection. So your credit card has fraud protection as opposed to like a gift card or a debit card. So it's really important to use that payment for the fraud protection. And then as far as the identity, we can't emphasize this enough. Just if you talk to somebody or in an email or whatnot, don't provide your information on your checking account, your driver's license, your social security number, anything like that, because once they have it, they have all of it. And then that's when you become seriously compromised. And then also use 2-step authentication. So I know it's a little bit extra, but that security is there for you. And just, make sure that, and basically what it is, you'll go into your checking account and then it'll say, we're going to send you a text message to the phone that we have on file. And then you can enter that number, the 5-digit code, and then then you're able to get in there. So it protects you from another person coming in and taking advantage of you. And then as far as Wi-Fi goes, we always want to be connected, but make sure you're staying off that public Wi-Fi. If you're on it, anybody else can be on it too. And then if you're starting to look at your checking account or paying something on Amazon or whatnot, they can get all that information from you. So just be really cautious when you're using public Wi-Fi.
If you do become a victim, so like I said, we can do everything we talked about today, and unfortunately you can fall victim because we all make mistakes. Some stuff is very, very convincing. If you do become a victim, there are things you can do. First, you should report it. The government has a couple websites set up for reporting scams and fraudulent activity. The FTC has one, reportfraud.ftc.gov. The FBI has theirs at ic3.gov. Also report it to your local sheriff's department or attorney general, especially if you fall victim to something, because sometimes they can do something to help protect you or protect others or recoup stuff like that. If you think your card or your financial stuff has been compromised, always contact that banking or that financial institute right away. Suspend the account, suspend the credit card, whatever it takes to make sure no further charges happen. They can also assist in maybe reversing charges, canceling charges, stuff like that. Even if you do a money transfer app, and you got scammed, you sent somebody money, contact that app or that business to see if they can help sort it out, figure it out. Again, secure your accounts and your devices. Jane mentioned it before. Two-factor authentication is amazing. More websites are requiring, especially financial ones.
Mm-hmm.
When you log in, it sends you a text or an email. It's just one other way for them to make sure it's the right person logging in. It can seem annoying, but it's extremely nice. It's one of the best ways to stay protected.
Yep.
And then I was going to say, if you fall victim, keep the evidence of that interaction. If you had a text thread with somebody and then you fell victim, keep that evidence because it could be important to help protect other people or figure out what happened. If you got emails that you clicked on, maybe keep the email so people can figure out kind of what happened and what the link is, and so it can be stopped. It can feel embarrassing. You want to maybe get rid of the evidence, or you say, "Oh my gosh, is it too late? Maybe I should delete all this." If it's too late, it's too late. But it's good to have some of that evidence.
And I was going to say too, passwords are very important, and don't use the same one for everything. So, if you have a password going into your Facebook account, certainly don't use that to your checking account, because if you're compromised on Facebook, you're also compromised financially as well. So just keep updating your passwords as much as possible.
Holidays are for joy and for family and friends, but we've got to always be on our guard, especially around the holidays. I think people are scammed more on the holidays than any other time of year. We need to protect ourselves and our loved ones. Tell your family and friends what to do, what not to do. Make sure they don't click on links and answer text messages and that kind of thing. And remember, scammers are targeting everyone, not just the elderly.
Yes. If you have any questions about this show, Meeker Energy or Vibrant, give us a call. We're at 693-3231, or you can look on vibrantbroadband.com. And then catch the replay on Facebook or the YouTube channel. Just search for Vibrant Broadband. And then listen live every Wednesday at 10:30 on KLFD.
Yep. And we'd like to thank KLFD for having us on Wednesdays. Thank you for listening. We love hearing people that call the radio show. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Nathan.
I'm Jane.
And I'm Shane.
And check out us next Wednesday on KLFD for another Vibrant E-Live.
Speed with Vibrant service. Vibrant Broadband Internet. Vibrant Broadband Internet.